Subtle Serpent Survival here. This is one of the first interviews I ever put up on YouTube. It's from about 8 or 10 years ago. This was Mr. James Gibson, who started out as a friend and is now more like family. And we've trained together, camped together, and even talked together. So after you get through this interview, make sure to go give him a holler.
Legendary James Gibson with Knob Creek Forge knives. I was just going to ask him a few questions. First of all, what knives were you really influenced by as a kid?
Knives. I always liked the USMC K-bar knife because that was a real durable quality knife, and they made it for the guys going off the war to fight, and they needed something they could rely on, depend on, so that was a good quality knife back then. And then as I grew a little older, I liked the Kephart stuff, the old guys that they was out there every day using stuff, so they knew what worked. That's why I looked into what they did as well. Knives like Nesmith and Kephart, men like that.
What type of knives did you carry like when you were a kid?
Mostly pocket knives. I've got a belt knife my mother got me when I was 12 years old. It's a East Wing. And she got the S&H green stamps. I'll never forget it for Christmas one year. It had a leather handle. I still got it. Broke the tip off, and I sharpened it with a file, 'cause that's all I had. But I carried that knife everywhere I went. And plus Barlow pocket knife. That's what we carried as kids. Mostly Barlows and stuff.
Knob Creek Forge.
I moved in the Knob Creek area. I started making knives. My first knife was 1980, and I made them where I lived primarily then. But when we moved in the Knob Creek community, I just thought I'd call it Knob Creek Forge. So I've been forging long before that, but I finally gave it a name, I guess, about 16, 17 years ago.
Where did you come up with, or when did you come up with the JG3 design?
Well, I make knives. I come up with new designs constantly because I'm always researching and looking into what works and works well. And the JG3, I made it probably 8, 9 years ago, and I carried it for a while. And I field test all my knives, so I know how they feel in my hand. They usually feel good in other people's hand because I'm out doing the Bushcraft survival things all the time. So, you know, you want to make a knife that will work and function.
I talked briefly about the JG3, but when did Essie start taking your design and making the Campbell series?
I had made this knife, and I've got the original, and it's a white bone handle, and I jigged the handle, and it's a really pretty attractive looking knife for what it is. And Jeff saw the knife when I went down with Daryl. Daryl was doing a class, and he wanted me to come down with him to do some flint knapping, so I'm a flint napper too. And wanted me to do that, and Jeff said, he told Jeff that I made knives. He said, "You got anything with you?" I said, "Not really." Well, I pulled out my personal knife in a cross draw sheath, and it was the JG3. He said, "Let me see that knife." And he liked it, and he said, "How would you feel if we add this to our line?" And I said, "Well, I'd love it. I'd be mad all the way to the bank." But no, as just a joke, you know, about mad to the bank. But it's been a blessing being hooked up and affiliated with Essie Knives. They're an A+ company. I mean, if any of you guys out there know the Essie group, Jeff and Mike and Patrick and all them guys, they're Class A. Hugh Coffey, they're all Class A guys, fantastic people, and they make good quality knives. I saw the Essie knife before I ever knew any of them guys. I thought, man, that's a nice, that's a good knife, good using knife, and it made me think of the Tom Brown Scout knife. Well, they'd been to Tom Brown's, and he had the Scout knife, and his was a good quality using knife as well. But they like the JG3, and I'm glad they like it.
Yeah. When did you start getting really interested in martial arts?
When I saw Billy Jack, the old Billy Jack movie back there, the first one he was ever in, and it really, I was interested in it anyway, but that prompted me to go and find a class, start learning. So I started with Harold Long in the Troy's bus station down in Knoxville, Tennessee. I didn't have a car, so I would hitchhike to class and back. And that buddy got a car finally, so we'd run down together and back, you know. Then later I kept finding different teachers and went from there until I ended up in ninjutsu. When I found ninjutsu, I just quit everything else and stuck with that for the next 20 years. Made a trip to Japan, trained with Sensei, the Grandmaster. And you know, it's just like anything you do. If you're really interested, you keep pursuing it. You'll keep avenues will be opened up if you just keep working at it. And you got to set in your mind, I want to do this, and then you go do it.
Training with Misaki Hatsumi.
It's phenomenal. He's an amazing man. I started ninjutsu when I was in my mid-30s, I guess, and I quit about a year ago because I'm 62 years old now. But been around Hatsumi. He's not just a martial artist. He's a very unique man. They made him a National Living Treasure. He is an artist, a musician. He's just accomplished so much in his life, plus been a bone doctor and things of that nature. But he's a master in the art of ninjutsu. So,
which custom knife are you carrying that you made?
this is, I call it my Bushcrafter. And Jeff liked this one also. But this is, I go to this knife quite regular because it's handy and I haven't sold it. I brought a new knife with me this weekend to use. By the time I got here, I posted on Facebook and a lady emailed me she wants the knife, so I put it back up, not doing damage to it, you know, so she can get it in pristine condition.
Is that the biggest your knives go, or do you make even bigger?
No, I make big knives, bigger knives. I've made several Bowie knives and things of that nature. I've made several big knives. And I make ultra small knives, and just like that little tin I had out there, I've got a little, I used the tip of a file, made a little small knife. That is a great little using knife.
Yeah, that one you had with your kit in your front and steel kit.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that little knife. It would skin a fish or, you know, open the fish up to whatever. Of course, you can do that with a rock, but a knife is will last longer.
And you do like bearing blocks and like the steels.
Yeah.
Like
steel.
spoons.
Copper spoons, wooden spoons. I make hook knives for carving spoons, carving knives, just a variety of things. I make my own chisels. I make chisels for other people. I make adzes. I forge out axes. I had my axe out up here last night. I forge axes out. And I'm an ABS journeyman bladesmith. I've been a knife maker, like I say, since 1980, which was 37 years ago. I made my first knife. So I've been at it for a while.
Yeah. Like shelters do you build?
I build all types of shelters, debris shelters primarily. People need to learn that first because it's primitive and that's primal means first. So learn that, and then it's always good. I teach everybody in your gear, if you're going to carry gear, you need to carry something to sleep on, sleep in, sleep under. So a tarp is really good. I like a tarp better than a tent, and usually they weigh a lot less too. And then if you got something to sleep on, a mat of some sort, and if you got something to sleep in, you can get by. You can weave you a mat out of reeds and things out here, something to lay on, you know.
What all do you have going on besides just in bushcraft? What are you involved with?
Okay. I'm involved with Wilderness Means, that's me and Ex-Umbra, and we have a school, and we teach from what we call the empty hand. We teach from primitive all the way through up to into bushcraft. And then I'm involved with Darrell Patton, and we have the Smoky Mountain School of Bushcraft, and we teach skills from bushcraft to plants, edible plants, and medicinal plants, things like that on Darrell's end. My end covered a lot of the bushcraft, primitive survival stuff as well. And then I do a lot of spoon and bowl carving. I hold classes in my shop at home. I hold classes there like you can come for spend a day and just learn fire making. Or I'll have a class where we'll just make we'll do a hand line out of plant fibers, and then we'll make a sinker out of a rock, drill a hole through it. We'll make hooks out of bone and wood and things, and you'll leave there with corn cob float and things like that. So I do a lot of classes at home too that I need to start getting posted.
Thanks for letting me interview you.
Well, I appreciate it, and you keep doing what you're doing and keep on going.
Thank you.